Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to episode 77 of You Are a Lot, an ADHD, AuDHD podcast, and the first episode of the little life resets for April. I keep pausing because I want to say easy life resets, but they're not easy. I mean, they're simple, but they're not easy. All right. So let's just get right into it. Hi, welcome to You Are a Lot, an ADHD, AuDHD podcast for the month of April. This is an intro that I'm going to play before every episode in the month of April. So if you've already heard this intro, please skip it. There is nothing new, but I am just introducing this series. I decided for the month of April to keep things very simple because I'm in a bit of a busy, overwhelmed season with a lot of things and a lot of stress. And what I decided to do was 8 episodes for the month of April. That's 4 here in the general public every Monday. And then, as always, the Patreon subscribers get a bonus episode every Thursday. But all 8 episodes are of an overall theme that I'm calling Easy Life Resets. These are little resets that you can do daily, once in a while, that will help to reset your ADHD, AuDHD brain and give you some perspective on things. All of these 8 resets are things that I have done and do. I would never tell you to do something that I haven't tried. Some of them I made up, and some of them are things that were suggested to me or I read in a book. All of them are backed by some kind of behavioral science. Is that the right word? Anyway, I really hope you enjoy this. The episodes will be shorter than usual, but I didn't want to put all 8 in one episode because it can get really overwhelming and I think lost. My dream would be if you listen to it, digest it, and want to try it out for yourself and let yourself try it out that week or whatnot. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you're doing any of the resets. A lot ADHD pod@gmail.com is where you can find me. And I hope you like this episode that you're about to hear. I want to say one thing before I get into this episode, which is called the Self-Attunement Reset. I want to say something to all of my ADHD, AuDHDers. I've got the same brain as you, okay? I know what you might possibly want to do with these episodes. You might want to go, let me just listen and get back to my overwhelm and all this stuff. Just try it. These episodes are shorter for a reason because they have a point. But I want to say this. I am kind of a spiritual woo-woo person. Now, the reason I say that is because I mostly do not bring that here. It's something I keep to myself. I don't know why, but I just do. The reason I say that is to say that because I am a woo-woo spiritual person to a certain degree, but probably more than your average person, but not as much as a super one. I say it to say, because I am, I know the difference between neuroscience, big PhD level psychoanalysis or psychology, and woo-woo. I know the difference because I am a student of both. What I am telling you in this episode is not woo-woo. You might call it that because it's new to you, and I hate to tell everybody, we all have trauma. At the very least, we have the trauma of perhaps being an undiagnosed child in a world that was very boomerific, even if you're younger than me. Your school system was most likely this internalized, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, competitive, what do you want to be when you grow up? Let's get you into capitalism, blah, 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 blah. That is traumatic enough. And I suspect, like most people, you have some kind of growing up trauma of some kind. The trauma is not necessarily what happened. It's how it lives in your body and how you adapted, right? Okay. So what I'm telling you is sometimes we think things are woo-woo when they're just simple, not beating yourself up. We think things are woo-woo when they are Hey, can you slow down for 5 minutes and sit with yourself? We think things are woo-woo when it has the slightest hint of kindness. But this, what I'm giving you, is neuroscientifically proven, and it is a psychology tool. Okay, but it's going to involve your body because your body has all the wisdom, literally scientific. The body is where emotions are stored from that very young age till now. And our brain responds to the cues our body gives. Go back to my feelings and emotions episodes if you want to hear more about it. So I just want to get your minds in the right headspace. Okay. All right. Let's begin with the self-attunement reset. I've given my spiel. I can only do what I can only do with convincing people. Okay, so what this practice is, for me, I call it my hand on my heart morning practice, but it's really about talking to yourself. You do not need to do what I'm doing if you're watching the video version. I have one hand over my heart and then my other hand on top of that hand. You can do anything. You can hold your hands together as though you're holding your own hands. You can put one hand on the opposite shoulder, the other hand on the opposite shoulder, cross your arms. You may even apply some pressure on your shoulders, just a little bit like you're pushing them down. You can put one hand over your heart and the other on your stomach or your solar plexus right under your rib cage. You can put both hands on top of your head. You can put both hands on your thighs, whatever it is. But I encourage you to make sure that your hands are touching your body in some way. What I'm about to show you can be used as a reset multiple times a day. And I would recommend that you do that multiple times a day. And when I say multiple times a day, don't panic. I am talking 60 seconds. And I know you think 60 seconds doesn't make a difference because of course you think that because our brains play tricks on us. All right. And I would recommend that you don't wait to feel like doing this multiple times a day because you won't. You have to tell yourself, we are doing this now. It's an exercise to allow your feelings, to help you get in touch with what you're feeling. And you have to decide in advance that you're going to do it at a certain time of the day or in between projects. So in between task switching, before you leave work and get in your car, before you get out of your car and go into your home. I use this. I know you're like, Jen, what is it? I haven't shown you yet, but I use this whenever I feel like I have the urge to zone out or take a nap when I'm not really tired or scroll my phone. I will think, let me just check in with myself first. It's not instead of, I just said first. Don't hear what I didn't say, okay? I am not trying to stop anyone from doing anything. I'm saying, let's get in touch with our feelings. They need room to move around, or else they will burrow underground and get bigger and bigger and bigger until they overwhelm us and scare us. When we are not accepting that we also are a person with feelings and we can't do them later, they show up as we go about our day. If we ignore them, it takes up a lot of energy in the background. And you might find yourself exhausted at the end of the day in a weird way. And you might even want to do some revenge bedtime procrastination. I know a lot of times we think we're doing that because we didn't get to do anything we wanted to do today, which is awful. I hate those kind of days. But it's also because you weren't allowing your feelings to be felt throughout the day. And your feelings are begging you, pay attention to me, don't go to sleep yet. And you're saying, I'm not going to go to sleep yet. I'm going to entertain myself. And nothing you're doing is working. And you're scrolling and feeling this nagging feeling. Those are your feelings. All right. So self-attunement reset. Now, I do this first thing in the morning, and you might wonder, why do you need to reset? You just woke up. Well, yeah, but I'm about to jump into my routines in an either unconscious or conscious way, and I want to go into them consciously. And I've always wanted some kind of morning routine that has an element of self-care. You know, some people might want to do something that they think is spiritual or meditative. And it can be hard to commit to those because they can be boring or they can get repetitive or you might not feel like it. And what I realized for me is that I don't need this big spiritual overhaul in the morning. I just need to sit with me. And I know that first thing when I wake up, I can feel kind of dissociative. I can feel kind of keyed up just from waking up. And so in the morning when I first wake up, first I do go brew my coffee and I bring my cup of coffee back to bed. I have a sip. And in those moments, I am being my own best friend, my own parent, or my own therapist. I am so glad that you have a best friend and good parents and good therapists. This is not for people who don't have that. It starts with you. You also have to be your own best friend, your own parent, and your own therapist. And you can also have parents, best friends, and therapists. Imagine that. You get to have all of it. And if you don't have some or any of the other things, then great. Then you really need this. Do not let this exercise make you sad and make you think, I don't have a good therapist. I don't have a romantic partner. I have an estranged relationship with my parents. I don't have a best friend. That's okay. This exercise is not to highlight any loneliness or lack. This is not second best. This is first best. If you have amazing people in your life, you should be doing this especially. You can't know how you want people to treat you unless you get used to treating yourself well first. And then everyone who wants in with you in your life will be competing against you for if they get a spot in your life. Okay, this is what I do. I put one hand on my heart and one hand over my hand. I'm going to tell you why later in the episode I came to that. It will be different for everyone. You may not want to do that. Figure out where your hands want to go, and then that is the correct place. That is your body being really intuitive and smart. Science, 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 not woo. I say, hi, Jen, and I say it out loud. And I talk to myself in the third person. If you can't talk to yourself out loud, can you whisper? Can you think it? Can you go somewhere where you can talk to yourself out loud? And I would recommend doing this by yourself because this is you time. This is not, well, I'm going to do it in front of people, but, I'm comfortable. Just be alone. Okay. Hi, Jen. And I talk to myself in the third person. Hi, Jen. Good morning. And I talk honestly about what I'm thinking. I might say, I know you don't want to do this right now, Jen, but we're just taking a second here to see how your body feels this morning. And you can narrate all the way through it. Now, I know it might feel weird to talk to yourself in the third person, but just try it. I might say, Jen, I'm checking in with you, and my back is feeling tight. Now I'm changing back to first person. That's okay. Oh, yeah, my back is tight, and that's making me think that I need to go to Pilates and stretch, but oh my God, I feel so overwhelmed about my schedule. I just don't want to stop and go to class. That's okay, Jen. You don't have to follow that thread of thinking. Just keep staying with how your body feels. So how do your legs feel? How do your feet feel? There's no right or wrong. We're just saying hello. Okay, Jen, I don't know if you have any feelings yet this morning, any emotions that you feel in your body. Do you feel anything? And then you could just check to see. This is me now talking back on the podcast, not doing my exercise. So you could just check to see, do you have like a gut punch feeling or that heartbroken feeling, or does your heart feel like it's in your stomach or a lump in your throat? Do you feel this like energy behind your eyes, like crying, but you're not going to cry, which by the way is fine. No one needs to cry. Do you feel happy? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel tingly? Do you feel nothing? Do you feel neutral? Literally, there is no wrong. This is about you getting in touch with how you feel. There's no way you should feel. And if you don't like how you feel, if you're like, no, I do have a lump in my throat, I do feel like I'm going to cry, please don't beat yourself up. Think of your feelings as like little kids. Don't be mean to them and be like, I wish you were something different. Let them be. Let them be. Any of those things you notice you can name out loud and just let it stay. We're not trying to get rid of the feelings or do anything about them. And of course, if you feel nothing, that's very normal and totally fine too. You can say, I'm not really sensing any emotions in my body or feelings. I have some thoughts like, I'm thinking about my day, but I don't know. I don't have any sensations. Great. You don't have a big sensation that's trying to get your attention. But some things you can say to yourself is, I just want to let my feelings and sensations and emotions know. I want to let you know, and you can go back to third person, Jen, that I'm here for you all day. And if any feelings come up, it's safe to feel them. You can interrupt what I'm doing and let me know because we're just going to take a second and feel them and then we'll do our things. And, but I'm going to check in later and I'm going to check in a few times today, Jen, okay? I'm going to check in and we'll do this again and just see how we're feeling. and I love you and you are never a bother, okay? All right, that's it. That's it. Even just doing that as an instruction right now, I feel so good again. Even though I have some anxiety about some things, I have some worries. I don't mean I feel perfect and amazing. I just feel like less intense about everything. And, I went through it kind of quickly, but if you do have those strong emotions or sensations in your body, you can just sit and watch them, because here's the key that I'm not telling you when I'm like, don't try to change your feelings. Here's the parenthetical. Once you start noticing them, they start changing. Guys, that's basic physics. It has been proven in quantum mechanics that something being observed changes. It's wild. Not something being touched or kicked, just observed changes. And so you will notice your feelings sort of clearing themselves up. But once you give them the okay that it's okay, every other part of your body that's trying to fight them to protect you will let go. And it's just like, yeah, you'll feel a little sad. And then you'll notice the parts of your body that feel neutral. And then your thoughts will just relax. Like, yeah, I'm a little sad, but also I'm a little this. I promise you. Watch it happen. But you want to maybe sit there for 2 minutes in silence. I always say, pretend you're sitting with a friend who's throwing up. Maybe they're going through chemo. Maybe they have the flu, but they're throwing up and they just want you to be there because they're scared. But they don't want advice. They don't want talking. They certainly don't want negativity. They don't want positivity either. They don't want any bullshit. When you're throwing up and you just can't deal with bullshit, pretend you're sitting next to someone who needs you to just be there. That's how you should be with yourself and those feelings. Just be there. Let your friend vomit, AKA let your feelings swirl and twirl around. Then that might give you some information like, oh, maybe I need some more soothing. Like I want to put a heating pad on, or I want to do a stretch, or I want to yawn, or I want to, whatever. Maybe I want to cry. So the important part for me is the telling myself I'm going to come back and check later. When you say those words to yourself, notice how that lands on you. For me, it feels so loving. It's such a nice thing to say. You're never bothering me. I'm going to take time out of my day and check on you later. So in the middle of the day, if you notice you're becoming a little bit dissociative, you can check in again and say, hey, I really loved our check-in this morning. I learned a lot. I'm checking in again. I told you I'd check in. I notice you're feeling a little dissociative, or you feel overwhelmed, like you have so many things to do, like you can't stop. And so I can't believe that you just stopped right now. That's amazing. You took like a counteraction. So let's just see how this feels. Like I'm just going to check in with all my body parts again. I'm just going to make sure you're breathing. Do you need to unclench anything? Unclench your jaw? How are your shoulders? I'm just going to sit here quietly with you. If any definitive feelings want to come up, I've got space. You can tell me anything. But yeah, just going to sit with some sensations and just sit there quietly with yourself. No pressure. Let the feelings happen. Again, like I said about your morning reset. If you feel angry, you might want to do a thought download. Some people call it rage on a page. Or you can just say, I notice these feelings and they're here. It sucks to feel them, but it sucks to not feel them even more, because then they just become like this big pile of overwhelm. And these feelings are actually fine. I'm glad I know what they are. They're just part of being human. So then, all right, are you okay to go back to what you're doing? You can just do what you were doing with this little sensation. For me, I enjoy working with the very specific feeling of, oh, I'm sad right now, or oh, I'm kind of angry right now. Then I'm ignoring whatever this feeling is, and it's causing me a lot of overwhelm. I would rather sit in a clear feeling than in overwhelm. And think about it. Use your AuDHD or your autism to your advantage. And ADHD too. We love information. Just get some information from your body and mind so that you're not in this unclear overwhelm. So where this came from is I go to somatic therapy. I also go to regular talk therapy. I mean, you do talk in somatic therapy, but my therapist told me that something like this might be good to do. And I could not do this 2 years ago. I thought it was stupid. And I thought it meant I was a loser. And one time we were in a session and I started talking about something that was important to me, and I put my hand over my heart. And then I talked about this thing that was important to me, like being worried that it would be taken from me. And I put my hand over my hand. And she pointed that out. That's what you do in somatic therapy. She shows me where my body is already being smart and intuitive. And she was like, your body is telling you this is important to you and you're protecting it. And I was like, oh. And so now I notice that, yeah, that feels right to me. So that's why I put my hand on my heart, my other hand over my other hand. Because in my morning, I am protecting my peace. You might have a different thing where it's not even protecting your peace. It's, I don't even know what it would be. It's your own thing. Put your hands where you want. So in closing, I started doing this in the mornings because I was finally able to realize that talking to yourself doesn't mean you're a loser. Talking to yourself means you're actually quite smart. You're quite knowledgeable about how emotions work, and you're next level. Because I don't know if you've seen the world around you, but I bet most people aren't doing this just from what I'm observing from the way people behave, okay? I keep doing it because I have found that it has become easy and addictive, and it feels really nice. Doing begets more doing. And it solves the problem for me of this nagging feeling that something is wrong or that I'm in a vague overwhelm. It doesn't preventatively cure it. I have to do this every day because I am human every day. I hope this helped. If you want to join the Patreon, click the link in the show notes. It's $7.99 a month. You can get a discount if you join for the year because you will get bonus episodes every Thursday. And this month, every episode in April is a little life reset. And the little life reset for this upcoming Thursday's episode is picking one day a month to do a no screen day reset. All right. Thanks for being here. I didn't know how to end the episode. Oh, God. All right. Bye. I hope you liked this episode, and I hope you will listen to this little outro because I have a few little important details for you. My first important detail is a reminder that you are not too much. You're just a lot, and that is okay. I also want to remind you that listening to this podcast is not a substitute for therapy or professional ADHD coaching or medication, although it is a great addition to any and all of those things. If you are looking for a therapist or an ADHD coach or just more information about ADHD, AuDHD, you can go to my Patreon page that is free to the public. You don't even have to sign up for a free membership. It is right there for the public. It's my frequently asked questions, and you will get links to places where you can take self-tests to see if you qualify to be thought of as someone who most likely has ADHD, AuDHD, autism, and places that will lead you to go further down the path to get an official diagnosis and more information on finding a therapist and lots of other frequently asked questions about this whole thing. If you want to join my Patreon, as always, you can get a 7-day free trial. The link is here in the show notes and in the show description. I'd love to have you. Listening to this version of the podcast is the most important step one part of my business being a success. And so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps. As always, if you write me a 5-star review, you will get 1 month free at the top tier of this podcast. You only need to prove that you wrote one, take a screen grab, and send me an email at alotadhdpod@gmail.com. And send me an email anyway to that email address to let me know anything and everything that you want me and the listeners to know about your experience with ADHD or AuDHD, or ask me any kind of question that you want, or just say something nice about the show. And lastly, there will be a couple of ads that are going to play out after this announcement. If you let them play out, that helps throw a few bucks back into the show, which keeps it going. Thanks again for listening. And if you want to recommend this show to a friend, go to jenkirkman.com, click podcasts, and you can send them my podcast. They can listen to it right on my website and read the blog. There is a blog for almost every episode with all of the information in a way that is easy to read. Again, thanks for listening. And don't forget, you're a lot, and that is okay.